Welcome to this week's Business Updates with me, Michael Hardy. So we're going to start this week by talking about communication. Communication is something that businesses always talk about, whether they're external communication through marketing or internal communication with their teams. It needs to be consistent. Here's a great example. The Bank of England now urging us to spend our 20 and 50 pound notes. Apparently there are 17 billion pounds worth of these notes in circulation, and they actually have got a sell-by date. Who knew? The end of September, these notes will be not fit for spending. So if you've got 20 or 50 pound paper notes, then you need to spend them. And it's important that this communication is out there, because just telling people once, thinking you've got your message out, doesn't work. You need to tell people over and over again, whether it be in formal and informal ways, through social media, advertising, websites. Don't stop because you've said it once. People don't always hear what you say, and therefore communicating needs to be consistent. And here's a great example, because 17 billion pounds worth of notes in circulation, and they need to be used. And while we're talking about cash, not just about notes, 20 and 50 pound notes, but actually cash itself, there's been a survey done that says that 10 million people would struggle if they did away with cash. Well, could you survive with cash, both from a personal perspective? How much do you take in cash from a business perspective? If you had to only transact through electronic means, what would that do to your business? How would it change your business? Would it improve your business and not having to take cash to the bank, not holding cash on site? Maybe you're a retailer and having cash is a risk through theft or other means. But could you cope without cash? We're not close to having no cash. Undoubtedly, it's something that in the long term will happen. We consistently see, and the pandemic has meant less cash has been used over the last 2 years as people move away from handing money across counters, etc. But how would your business cope without cash? Interesting to think about what it would do for your business. Inflation is something we've talked about and we will continue to talk about. But what about shrinkflation? What about turning it? So no longer putting prices up, but offering less for the same. So rather than saying I'm adding 10% to my price, I'm going to take 10% off what I give you. Cadbury's have done this with their dairy milk bars, retail at £2. They're still going to retail at £2, but rather than being 200 grams, they're now going to be 180 grams. Think about it. What could you do for the same price, but offering less? Maybe you offer a service. Maybe you're a physiotherapist or an osteopath, and you've historically given hour-long sessions. Could you actually do the work in 45 minutes? How would that increase your time, increase the amount of clients you see in a day? So shrinkflation is about offering the same service over a shorter period of time or in smaller sizes. Could that be something? Maybe you're a baker. Maybe your loaf of bread is going to be one slice shorter. But shrinkflation is a different way of getting your value up without putting your price up. Something to think about. Cadbury's have done this. I know from my days in the brewing industry, they used to put less bottles or smaller bottles or cans into multi-packs in supermarkets, a way of keeping the price point where the consumer wants it to be. So think about shrinkflation. It could be the answer to inflation. Debt collection. We've talked a lot this week about finance with different clients across the different formats, and obviously cash collection, cash flow is a huge importance. So what do you do regarding debt collection? What do you do to ensure you get paid on time? Now I'm hoping you don't have the issues that HMRC do. I think, does it say 39 billion pounds worth of outstanding payments? I mean, that's eye-watering, isn't it? You need a process. You need to understand from the point of invoice how you get paid, how you chase payment, because having outstanding debt is not good for your cash flow. It's not good for your business. Remember, as a business owner, you're the last person to get paid. So if you've got cash outstanding, that usually is your cash. So make sure you're chasing your debts. Make sure your clients, your customers understand what your expectations are. And if they don't meet it, go and speak to them. Have a process. Understand why they're not paying. Because we can't have a business without cash coming into it. So that's not just invoices going out, that's money hitting your bank. So how good are you at debt collecting? Have you got a handle on your costs and pricing now? And do you actually do what some businesses or some organizations do, where they actually start to curtail their supply? Think about the oil industry and how actually the curtailing of the amount of oil available pushes the price up. Here we've got a situation with milk where, as the costs are going up because the costs of cattle feed, statement at 36% is the cost of keeping cattle has gone up, but prices are being squeezed or not going up at the same rate. So they're actually producing less milk because it's not viable to produce the milk and therefore to sell it. So what are you doing to look at your costs and understand how the rising costs are impacting your prices or your availability? Really important at this time. So we've got a free workshop coming up in 5 weeks' time. We've got Easter and a couple of bank holidays. So first week of May, we're going to do Stop Selling, Start Influencing, the Small Business Owner's Guide to Winning More Business. So if you want to generate more leads, close more sales, come and join our workshop. The link to Facebook to say that you're interested is on the screen. It's at 9:30. It'll last for an hour. It's the 5th of May. So start selling, stop influencing. So that's it for me. Some contact details. If you'd like to have a free 30-minute one-to-one, please click the link below. We'll be delighted to arrange 30 minutes to chat about anything that I've discussed earlier or anything in your business that you have got issues with, whether it's time, whether it's cash, whether it's sales. Be delighted to talk to you. That's all for this week. Take care. All the best.